Hello again, everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of the Board Game Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Nick, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Ayub.
Hello.
How you doing, Ayub?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Just getting back to work since this week is it's a pain, but gotta earn that money.
Back to reality.
And back to reality. That's what I've been singing all week.
All right. That's good. Essen is slowly creeping up on us.
Yes.
Gen Con was this weekend. There are some exciting things that happened there that I'm very excited about.
Mm-hmm.
But today we're talking about all the games we played for the month of July.
Exactly.
Yes. But before we do that, of course, we need to talk about the games we've played. I will talk to you about Darwin's Journey, and Ayub will talk about Planet Unknown.
Yes.
Ayub, take it away, my friend.
All right. Planet Unknown. A pretty, I will say, widely well-received and famous game by now. And it is, of course, funny. I picked a game where I have to say polyomino game a lot of times, but I think I'm slowly getting better at that word. So, what is Planet Unknown? Planet Unknown is a tile line game where you are drafting tiles and putting them onto your planet board, and these tiles will have some different abilities, and you're building out your planet board, and at some point the end game will trigger when somebody can't build more on their planet board or don't have pieces to pick from, and then you'll count up your points. It has some tracks as well, so other than your planet board, you will play a corporation, which will be next to your planet board, and these corporations you can either play on a symmetrical side, so everybody does the same, or you can flip it to the other side, and then there's a bunch of different asymmetrical factions, along with, of course, asymmetrical planets, which you can mix and match however you want. So already there, I was pretty hyped about the game. No matter which side you're playing on this faction board, there will always be 5 tech trees, like you can go up, and that is for the water, for the civ cards, for the technologies, for your rovers on the moon, and for your bio patches, which is black, blue, green, red, and gray. And from now on, I will talk about them with their color, just not to have to say all those things all the time. It's already enough to say polyomino so many times. Cool. So no matter which tile you are taking from the Lazy Susan, which is this thing you're spinning around, you will always go up at least 2 tracks. The tiles are made so that they always consist of 2 colors, which 2 icons. So either you can look at the colors or you can look at the icons, and those icons and color correspond to the tracks that I just mentioned before. When you pick from the Lazy Susan, you can either pick from the inner circle or from the outer circle, but you can only pick from the area that points towards you, meaning you have 2 options. In a 2-player game, the Lazy Susan is just spun like one clock time all the time, like one spot to the with the clock, so you can actually see which 2 options you have in the next round, which 2 options you have in 2 rounds, and so on and so forth. In a 3 to 6 player game, the active player will pick where they want to pick a tile from, spin the Lazy Susan to that side, and then everybody else must just pick one of the 2 options pointing towards them. So let's see what these different tracks do. You have the water track, where you must cover water or planetary ice on your player board, and then you will go up that track. The water track essentially doesn't really do anything, but it's the track with the highest amount of points. Hence why it also has this little extra barrier of you can only get to activate it if you cover planetary ice. Then you have the tech, and this is where, of course, with the corporation boards, that the game becomes really interesting as well, because if you play on the asymmetrical side, the techs are different for all the different corporations, and some of them do some really wacky stuff where the different tech trees, you jump over to the other tech tree with the cube, and all of a sudden you have 2 cubes in one, but not in the other and stuff. And of course, until some more down-to-earth corporations as well. And then so on the gray track, when you go up there, at a certain point, it will say level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and those are the techs you unlock, and they are all described on your player board. And of course, if they are too crazy to understand, you can always look it up in the rulebook as well. So yes, one tech, for example, said that whenever you gain a biomass, which I haven't talked about yet, which is some small tiles to help you fill up your board, you gain 2 instead. So there are stuff like this. So that was the tech tree. Then you have the red track. The red track, the first time, will give you a rover. And depending on the different cooperation, you might only get that single one. You might end up getting 4 or 5 even. And those rover will drive around on the planet. The moment you get it, you will place it on the tile that gave you the rover. Some of these tiles that you're placing in have like a little meteorite. And on your own personal board, you'll start with some life pots, 6 life pots, and there are some blue circles showing where they should start. And these rovers can go around, pick up the life pots, which will be worth points, and also drive over the meteorites to destroy them, because they will actually deduct some of your points, and we'll get to how that works in a second. But that's the red track. Green track just gives you the biomass patches, which are just a 1 square tile that you can use to fill up your board if you have some places where you're like, oh, I don't think I can fill this out. Talked about the blue already. And then the Civ track, you will have some Civ cards in between players. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 different piles, with the first pile having level 1 Civ cards, the next having level 2, and that's always the amount of players plus 1. So it's a little bit of a race here. Whoever goes first, look at the first pile, look at all the cards, and pick one they want, play it straight up, and so on and so forth. And of course, the level 4 Civ cards are way stronger, and there's also, I will say, quite a big pile. There's a few duplicates, but there's quite a big pile of Civ cards, so you don't know what you're getting, even though you're like, I'm playing the full player game. It's not like all Civ cards are in there. So that's also pretty hype. Some say go up 2 different tracks. Some say immediately take and place a tile. I've seen that in both one of the lower ones, where you just place it to fill out your board, but also in one of the higher ones, where you actually get the benefits as well. So you got like a super good double turn. Once somebody cannot place, as I mentioned earlier, a tile, or cannot pick from the Lazy Susan because maybe it is empty, maybe a lot of people picked those 2 things all the time, the game will end after that round. You'll still get to pick a tile if you cannot place it, and then you will just gain the track movements. If it's empty, it just ends immediately for everybody. And then you will count up your points. Each of the tracks have some points depending on how high you got on them, and also each row you completely filled on your planet will give you points, and depending on if the row is in the middle or in the sides, it will give more or less points. And if it has any meteorites on it, it will not score points, and hence that's why you wanted to remove the meteorites with your rovers. There are other small modules, event cards, that I haven't dived into yet. I played it at 2 players quite a few times. I also played it 5, and also played it 3. And I do think that I prefer the higher player count in it. I think it's nice, of course, that you can see what you get in a 2-player game, but the way the game works, I don't want to, I mean, I could, but I don't want to look for the next 3 rounds, and then, because I could just plan and be like, okay, boom, 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 boom. But I actually kind of like okay, these are my 2 options this turn. How am I getting the most out of that? And I know in 2 turns I can pick myself, stuff like that. But all in all, pretty good. Yeah, Nick, you tried it as well. How are you feeling?
Yeah, only played the game once, 2 players. It felt okay for what it is. It definitely felt like a game where it's not easy to follow what other players are doing. So that's why I don't think a higher player count would make it work for me. But I do get the thing that when you're 2 players, you can always plan ahead. And of course, that's very player dependent. Overall, it was a fun game. Polyomino games are always nice. You know, you feel like you're doing something tactile. Yeah, it's a nice thing. But it was okay for me. I mean, I would definitely play it again. I know there's a solo mode as well. That might be interesting to try out. I would like to see them different modules. There were some expansions. I saw some event cards use. And yeah, overall a very pleasant experience. Really liked it.
Cool.
All right. That was Planet Unknown. And now we'll talk about another game called Darwin's Journey. Once again, I feel like I'm saying this a lot lately with the games I've been describing. This is not going to be like how the game is played like you magnificently did now. I'm just going to go over a few basics because the game is huge, and then I'll leave it up to you to go and play it. Darwin's Journey is a game designed by Simone Luciani and Nestor Magnone and published by Thunderglyph Games. and it is in overall a worker placement game with some unique gimmicks to it. The concept is that you follow Darwin's journey to his collecting the samples for the theory of evolution.
Mm-hmm.
So the main aspect of the game is there's a track on the bottom of the board where you move your ship along, and then you drop your people in different islands, and then you collect the specimens, and then you deliver them to the museum. Everything I just described happens in 4 basic worker placement spots, each giving you something different, and each requiring your workers to be specialized. In this game, you will have 4 workers, potentially 5, and you'll be able to modify them. You'll be able to give them seals, and depending on the color and the number of the seals they have, they are able to take different and stronger actions. That means that your own workers are really, really customizable and different from game to game, and that is a very unique thing for a worker placement that you don't see often. One of the main actions that wants the red seals in order for you to go there will give you extra seals. Then one of the other main actions will let you send letters back to your loved ones, giving you end-round area majority scoring bonuses. And then the last 2, one will let you move on the ship track, and the other will let you move on the people track, on the tracks we described at the bottom of the track. While you're doing that, your score, of course, is to gain points, and you gain your majority of points by filling up the museum. And whenever you put a specimen in the museum, in the early game, you'd get a lot of money, which is very hard to come by. And by the end of the game, you're going to get a lot of points the more the museum is filled. And then depending on the lines of the museum that are filled and how your scoring track in the book track is advancing, that's how many points you will get. And it's a multiplicative scoring, which is, I know, kind of rough sometimes in games, not always very well received. But I feel like this one works nice because it's the same for everyone. So it's like a collective effort, and then whoever advanced on the track more simply will get the more points. Whenever we play Darwin's Journey, I feel like it's essential to play with the main expansion. The name right now eludes me, but it's the one where the bottom part of the board changes and makes it more advanced, and you have these different tokens that are on the board, and when you go over them with your ship or with your workers, you get to pick a card and then make a choice, and that choice usually costs time, and the more time you spend, the less points you get at the end of the game, or even better, the more points you lose at the end of the game. But you get some very juicy benefits, and that creates a very interesting decision space on what to take when advancing, which makes the game, I feel, very good. Firelands expansion, it's called. I remember now. Darwin's Journey is a big, heavy worker placement game that you need to play a few times before you manage to realize what's happening. But I feel like that once you actually get what's happening, it's a very rewarding and very satisfying game. It is a game that I've played now, I think, around 10 times. And I think that it, once again, a little bit like Endless Winter, I feel like I'm to the point where I can, with the right moves and setup, I can probably do everything. Which is not always bad, but it's like the game is kind of brought to a stop by that. In addition, one of the main things that are really, really important in this game is that although you can not block your opponent by going into a spot for the most part, whenever you go to a spot and an opponent wants to come there, he has to actually pay money. And as I said, money is a commodity that comes very hard in this game. So that is also something interesting. Essen is up in 2 months, and we're getting the big Oceania expansion, which is going to introduce some very interesting stuff for the game. It's going to introduce asymmetrical player boards, which is kind of cool. And then it's going to introduce a new map where Darwin will be exploring the Pacific and new specimens. And then he's going to be meeting with hazards. Hazards are negative things that are happening and affect everybody who gets them at the end of the round. But, push your luck, high risk, high reward, whoever gets the most hazards will get a positive benefit. So you want to get bad stuff, but only if you have more than your opponents. That's kind of weird. And then they introduced a lot of new features like the post office, university, village and silver campsites, golden campsite, and new map lens locations. Everything super exciting. So I feel that this game, it has not yet reached its peak with me. I really need to play it more. I did live in Greece, but it really didn't fit. That Midara insert had to come here. And yeah, it's a game I really, really love. Darwin's Journey. We've played it.
Yes,
about it.
We played it. I think I have played it a total of 3 times now.
Okay.
But only once with the expansion, and I did think that made quite a big difference. I also like the thing you mentioned. I think is very cool that the worker placement is like in a book, and it's the whole book that becomes more expensive, or the page, depending on player count, right? But becomes more expensive when you go there. So you might even, and that's just an interesting thing. I don't want you to go and take my spot, and I don't want you to take the spot next to my spot. Like that's a lot of tension that comes from you not wanting like multiple spots not to be taken. So I found that was interesting. I found like you mentioned, the worker placement, the worker upgrading system interesting as well. I think it's, for me, just as a player, of course, I haven't played it that many times. It's kind of hard to be like, what should I actually go for? I want to upgrade my workers, but maybe I'm doing that too much and I don't get to do the other things. Okay, I wanna explore this. But my workers are so weak, so I can't really do much. So I really got some of those feeling, and it did feel like, from when I played it with you, okay, maybe I also just need to see what the other ones are doing, because you can't let someone do one thing too much, because they get all the cheap in that area, the cheap stuff from that area, and that will make them give them a big boost, right? And then you might be fighting with someone else, which is interesting, I think. And that thing, more than anything else, actually, I think put it into a heavier board game category for me personally, because I need to not just think about my other strategy, but actually really look into other people's strategies. So, but it was a cool experience. I definitely like the game. I'm wondering how much, because of the things that is just different in that sense from other games. It's a small thing. I'm not a huge fan of the look, but for me, of course, mechanics are always like way over looks. But it's not bad either. Very cool and interesting game.
All right. And that wraps up Darwin's journey. Now, let's talk about what we played this month.
Yes.
Let me go first, because mine is a bit compact compared to you. So let's start by what we played together.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not a lot. We played the new Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era game. We played Lost Ruins of Arnak again. We tried Saltfjord. We tried Arcanite, a game we are currently reviewing. And then Cube Melt Getting Dicey, and then Evenfall. And then for me personally, I played Midara. I played Elder Scrolls and Moon Colony Bloodbath 3 times, Cube Melt twice, and then for some reason, Munchkin. And then I also revisited another game we reviewed previously, Sub-Zero. And then for solo gaming, I just played Elder Scrolls, the whole campaign of it, and then Kingdom Legacy, the new expansion.
Cool.
Sit back.
Yeah, I mean, it was my vacation month, July, so I didn't have a single... It's not true, but I only had like 2 work days in the beginning of July, so much time for playing games, and I took advantage of that. So I played Amsterdam, Amon-Ra, Between Two Cities, Bonfire, Carpe Diem, Ceres, Civolution, Diamant, Dinky Dungeon, Dune Imperium, Imperial Spells and Steam, Factory Funner, Flip 7, For Northwood, For Sale, For the King and Me, Forest Shuffle, Galactic Cruise, Great Western Trail El Paso, Harmonies, Hyperborea, Inventors of the South Tigris, Joan of the Ark, Cockroach Poker, Kathmandu, King of Twirl, Llamaland, Marrakesh, Mindbog, No Thanks, Planet Unknown, Ra, Racing Robot, Resafa, Sagrada, Smartphone Inc., Spectacular, Startups, Terraforming Mars, The Anarchy, The Veil of Eternity, Tiletum, Tower Up, Trajan, Tribes of the Wind, Golem, and Flatiron.
Just that?
Just that. That is actually crazy.
Wow, what a month.
Now that's I think it's a high score for me in a different amount of titles.
Definitely looks like a high score. All right. Let's break it down. As we do every month, we're going to go through our biggest letdown, our biggest surprise, then a spotlight we're going to do about a board game, and then, of course, our top 5 experiences this month. And as always, we like to start with the bad so we can focus on the positive. So what was your biggest letdown this month that you played a lot?
I played a lot. So it was hard, but as I want to say, almost every month, if some games have high expectations, there is also a bigger chance then they will be the biggest letdown. And this one was one for me, and that is Resafa. Resafa is a game that came out last year in Essen, and it's one of those, there's no way you can play everything, try everything, but it was one of those games that I felt looked good, but we didn't get to. And it has this very interesting card system where you have 6 cards in your deck. You'll draw 3, and you will play one of them, and you can play it either with one half on the top side or the other half on the top side, and that dictates which action you're doing, and the color on the card also dictates which bonus action you can do. So you have like some multiple choices to think about that. And that card system, I think, is really cool. And that idea really, really, really hyped me a lot. I think the rest of the game was okay. It was not bad. But for me going, oh, this card system is awesome. And there was a website that had a sale for this and another game. And I was like, man, I can't just get both. I should go to the local board game cafe and try them. And man, that was so good I did it. Because I was like, it's fine. I don't need to own it. So that was a big letdown. But the expectations were very high from that standpoint. And yeah, that's my biggest letdown.
Right? Sit back. Remember how...
Oh, no.
Friends, okay? We've been through a lot now.
Oh, no.
For almost 6 months now. So my next words, I hope, will not affect our friendship.
I can't guarantee it.
I didn't play a lot of games.
Yeah.
But I did play a lot of good games. Having said that, though, the expectations were really high from the games I played. And there was a game that I played and got a new thing on it. It got like a revamp, let's say. So I was excited to dive into it, although I had played it a lot online. But I feel like it didn't pay out as much as I wanted. And that is Lost Ruins of Arnak.
From the beginning, I felt that might be it.
I'm really, really sorry. I know it was your last year's number 1. It was also my last year's number 8, so it was also super, super high. And it might still is. Don't say that it isn't. But I felt like, not that I'm done, but that I've seen everything that I need to see. And even though we tried the new track and I feel like once again, I was falling under the same thing. I have to go up here to do that. When I do that, this will come. I need resources to beat that. And that was a fun process. Don't get me wrong. But I just felt like the things we got, the new board, the new tracks, the new cards, I wanted like something to change, you know, something to feel a little bit more fresh than it did. And I did like a cool character. But yeah, not really a letdown, just I had super high expectations out of a game that we both freakishly love.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what brings it here.
Yeah. I mean, I think of course, there's two big things, right? It's the new maps and it's the new box. So alone from that, I knew it wasn't going to be like a new leaders expansion, you know, because that was clear. And I could see something bigger than that add too much, because there's technically a lot now, but I enjoyed it. But of course, I respect your words.
Your own words.
But no, I guess it makes sense what you're saying.
Surprise you.
Oh man, there was a lot to pick from. But of course, just like with the biggest letdown, having this feeling of something, this is gonna be bad, and then it actually not being bad, can also be a reason why you really got surprised, right? And that was the case for me. My second time ever playing Imperial Spells and Steams. I was sure I was going to be like, man, I remember the last time I played this game. And there's like a little bit of a spatial puzzle, and I didn't really understand how that worked the first time, which was super annoying in a game like that. You're building these train parts on a board, but you don't need all of your train cards to be connected. It's like if you're imagining it's like a magic train. So once one part is somewhere with a resource, you can transport that resource to another part where you have a train part. And that can really mess you up if you don't know it, because other people can transport it away before you and stuff like that. But the system on your board, which how you move along, you move one space for free and then you activate those parts of your card. Or you can move an extra space, but then you have to pay 1 mana. And you have some cool character abilities that you can use. And then once you got all the way on your player board in the end, it's like a reset. Do you want to fully replenish your mana? Do you want to pick one of these cards from one of these pile? Or do you want to reset your character? So it's like, it was very interesting. And it had this engine building feeling where you're building up your different parts of your train. I think it's a really cool game now. Still, of course, it is area control and it is...
the board looks very complicated. Very.
There's a lot of
populated.
stuff. Yeah.
And your player board looks
exactly. And our friend Daniel has like a Kickstarter version of it, where it's like a big box with some 3D tiles and stuff. And of course, that feels nice to play, and the resources feels nice, and the trains are like rubber and stuff. So I was pleasantly surprised. I was sure it's gonna be like, sure we can play this game, because I can't just always be like play this, but I was happy. So my biggest surprise: Imperial Spills and Steam.
Awesome. Well, I did play a lot of good games, but that was not surprising. I mean, I knew I'm going to like Midara. That was not a surprise. I knew I'm going to like Kingdom Legacy. That was not a surprise. What was a surprise is a game that is barely the size of my phone, and it's called Cube Melt. We've played back in Essen last year, and Ayub now purchased, and had the chance to play with some non-gamers, and also with Ayub, and it felt very, very good for what it is. Small box. You got an ice cube, you're trying not to melt, you try to melt the other ice cubes, just roll some dice, madness, craziness, and it's fine, it is very good. I didn't know the thing with the 4 players only targeting your 2 next to you. That makes so much more sense than when we played it 4 players. And yeah, I feel like this game is a staple in a collection. I mean, if you have a board game collection and you want just something small, entertaining, fast, quick, replayable, tick, 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 tick in all of those spots, I love Cube Melt. I'm considering buying it for myself as well. Very good game.
Yeah.
Super surprising.
And it's cheap, and it's, I don't know, everything is perfect about it. The theme, the whole thing. So yeah. I also, I mean, I talked about it in, was it 2 weeks ago, as the game I talked about in the beginning, and I also like it a lot, yeah.
Doesn't that make you want to go randomly on Essen and try random games?
Of course.
Because look what we found randomly sitting.
Yes. And there's no way I would have, I mean, if I saw this in a shop, I'd be like, oh, this looks like it's for kids. Yeah. And that's the rough part when you're going to such a huge convention, because I also still want to go and look at the games I know might be hype,
Not in the time.
So, yeah. We need to make a proper plan.
Yeah. All right. Something you want to this week? What is your board game spotlighting?
Yeah, that was a lot of options still. But I chose this game just because when I play it out, I think it flows very nicely, and at the same time, I'm like, this doesn't feel like things I'm playing in general. And it is Smartphone Inc. Very cool system, I think, where you just know, first phase, everybody's behind their screen, covering their tiles on top of each other, and the visible tiles are your actions for that round, and the things you are covering up will give you some resources. Boom. Next phase, everybody gets resources. Okay, how much did everybody cover? Do you have some special thing on the side that gives you some extra? Cool. Next phase, we are buying tech upgrades. Next phase, so it goes smoothly through those things, and then it has very interesting board where you are selling these smartphones you produced, but whoever has the lowest price for smartphones gets to sell first, and there's only a certain amount of people that want smartphones in each area. So I might want to sell a lot high, but I know you are in the same area as me. Are you going down in price? And maybe I need to go down as well. So it's interactive, I think, in a very cool way. And as always, with area majority, I like the fact that if you lost that area, what happened was that the other person got to sell and gain more points than you in that round. You didn't lose engine building. You didn't lose stuff like that. You're not behind in that sense. You're just behind in points, and you can always come back in that sense. And in case of ties, let's say me and Nick are both selling phones for 5, but he has more points than me, then I'm selling first. So, yeah, I really think it's cool.
I don't know. Ever since I first saw this game, I feel like this was one of the ugliest games ever, and I've never even had the chance to play it.
We should.
Yeah, we definitely should. I see here, like, there's updates, there's a new version, there's 100 things going on. I'm just going to leave it and play it. It's too much. All right, sounds good. In my spotlight, I mean, it's not even a secret anymore. A lot of people on the internet are talking about it. It has climbed, like, rapidly on the top spaces of the Board Game Geek, and that is Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. It's just an amazing game. I haven't played Too Many Bones, which is the previous cheap theory game that's based on this. I really bought. I didn't buy it, actually. My friends gifted them to me for my birthday. When I saw the Elder Scrolls a theme on it, it was like, it's over. Elder Scrolls is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and then board games is one of my favorite hobbies of all time, probably my favorite right now. So it was magical. I've played it a lot so far. I want to keep exploring it. It's an amazing game. Top 10 material for sure. Yeah, amazing. I recommend it. I know the buy-in price is very big, but if you can find a way to play it, maybe one of your richer friends has it, maybe your cafe has it, doubt it. Maybe in a convention, just give it a go. You might like it. Cheap Theory Games, they know what they're doing. The quality is amazing. The cards, I love the game and I'm not sleeving the cards. That says a lot about the quality of the cards. Yeah, and it's overall for me, it's an out of 10.
Nice. Yeah, and also there is a lot of playtime in the box, right? So
Yeah.
even though it might be expensive, you might be like, well, this is 3 games instead of 1.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then based on Too Many Bones, of course, that they are gonna keep releasing stuff. They already announced like 5 or 6 different expansions, modules, characters, skills, abilities, enemies, maps. So it's gonna go far. Really, really like. Alrighty.
All right.
So let down surprise and spotlight out of the way. Let's talk about our top 5 board gaming experience. I mean, I'm guessing you would have too much from this month, but you only have to pick 5.
I somehow managed to do it. I'll just start taking it away. I just want to get this out of the way since we already talked a little bit about it.
Okay.
I also have Lost Ruins of Anak. I mean, it's my favorite game. I'm excited something new came out. I was excited about the new box. I was excited about just, removing things from the old box and putting in the new and have everything look nice.
Nice.
Yeah. And then not even just about the new content. It was just nice to play Anak again as well, and be like, oh, this card here and stuff. So, and the new content didn't hurt it. So, so my pick, Lost Ruins of Anak.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. I also loved the removing the old box and putting everything in this tight fit box. There was this image that showed you how everything goes. It felt good. It felt very good.
Yep.
All right, my first experience is one of my favorite games, got a new expansion, Kingdom Legacy. And I actually finished that in a day. Kingdom Legacy got a new mini expansion where you have bandits attacking your now well-built kingdom. And it's like something like a Robin Hood style. And the reason I liked it, besides, of course, the amazing gameplay, is that, Robin Hood is generally the good guy, but now he's attacking your kingdom. So, should I imprison them? Should I off them? What should I do? It's, you had an interesting thing going on because Robin Hood was the enemy, where usually, you used to him being like the good guy. And it was really nice. And I could say that the way they treated some things, if you played Kingdom Legacy, you know what I mean, was very good. And I really liked the expansion. I have it one more time for my other kingdom. I have 2 kingdoms, and I'm really excited to do that as well.
Nice.
Nice. You should also play your kingdom. You left it.
I left my kingdom.
Can I play your kingdom if you abandon it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, it was very cool. The game is cool. I can't say anything bad about that. But I can see definitely it was interesting to try in the beginning. And now the solo part of it, being a solo game, that's the thing that I often rather want to do other stuff, play PC games and stuff like that. So, but yeah. My next pick is just a game that I was unsure if it was like awesome or good, or I knew I liked it, but it had been some time since I played it. And then I played it a few times with a few different people, and everybody I'm playing it with was like, man, this is a cool game. And this is Carpe Diem. And it's not a huge game in that sense, but it's just straight up take a tiles. We talked about tiles a little bit, or just that tactile thing of placing it. That part is simple. And then the cutthroat, I'm going to decide which scoring cards I'm getting. It's very cool. I talked about this not too long ago.
It looks very ugly.
And
I'm really excited for that.
But we know how ugly Euro games can be, so
I love them.
So yeah, that was just my pick, Carpe Diem.
My next pick, I'm going to talk about a lot because it's coming up, is the game we get to review, Arcanite. It really fits what I like to do in games, so I feel like I'm pretty hyped to explore it more. We've played it a few times. Now we're trying to find some good day to actually record our video of it. And I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's like a dueler head-to-head card game. Well, I don't want to say like Magic the Gathering, but it does have some similar things. So exciting, and we'll keep you posted.
Nice. Yeah, I'm also very excited. Yeah. And it really reminds me a little bit of my other card gaming days. And
We should bring them back at you.
I can't do everything at once.
How many likes and follows? You know this little trend going on TikTok where
Uh-huh.
people, hey, how many likes to do this? Are you how many follows on Instagram to play?
I already said something with 1,000, right? So I can't promise more things for now. People need to push it first. Okay, from one amazing, well-known, huge designer to another, the amazing doctor, Reiner Knizia.
What did he do?
I played Amon-Ra again, and I played it 5 players, which means all the areas of the board are active. And that was just very interesting and very cool. You know, when you, in the beginning of every round, you're bidding for these areas, and all of them have like different benefits. And I was like, okay, this time I'm winning this, and okay, and this stuff, but I'm behind there. And I will say the people I played with, also Erkan and Jink and some of my friends, they all played very good. Sometimes like, okay, cool, I have all these. Man, they lowered the prices so I don't get a lot of things. I said, yeah, and of course we're not. You have more than us. So, and that was very interesting, interactive in a cool way.
Yeah.
My pick, Amon-Ra.
Good game. Need to revisit it.
Mm-hmm.
My next game is Moon Colony Bloodbath, a game that I played with people that are not super into board games, but man, were they hooked. Especially one of my friends, he just stayed and said, let's do it again. Let's roll it back. Let's do it again. And we played like 3 or 4 times back to back, and that was a nice feeling. It felt really nice to actually get this game out again, because when it first came out and you bought it, I played it a lot, and I'm like, okay, now get out of here. I played you. You are out. Your shelf time is over. But now that I got to rediscover it, man, it feels good. And I really, really wish they find a way to balance and give us asymmetrical powers. That would be very, very.
And I mean, it's the designer of Dominion, and we know Dominion has 1 million expansions, right? So
I randomly had the other day, I don't know what, I had a dream that I was playing Dominion, and it was like this extreme, huge, crazy combination. And then I heard Alex's voice shouting, and I woke up and I'm like, so yeah, maybe I should play Dominion somehow again.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I should.
Definitely an old classic.
Yes, exactly.
All right. I went from Stefan Feld to Reiner Knizia, and then, of course, back to Stefan Feld. Let's not forget this GOAT. I also played Trajan again this month, and man, Trajan is just awesome. I really like the action selection. I really like the Mancala. And then, of course, it's just mini games you're doing on the board, but it's so heavily carried about how you're working around with these mandalas, trying to make the colors match, trying to make sure you can go to the different actions you need to. And of course, he has this thing he always have. Okay, I'm going to get here. I'm going to get this tile. This is the first time I get this tile, so I can also do this action now. And in this action, I'm going to do and it feels good. It just feels good. It's just, I don't want to say it's straightforward. It's straightforward once you get to know it and play it and you understand what it is. But it's very cool. So, yeah, Trajan.
Yeah, Trajan's good. It's okay. Solid. My next, talked about it already a little bit, Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. Specifically, in this game, you play like a mini campaign. You go through 3 different stages, and then in each stage you play 12 days, aka 12 rounds, and in each round you do different stuff. And in the final phase, phase 3, let's say, of the campaign, you have a small fight at the beginning, then you get some rest, and then you go to your big fight. And we were doing our big fight final boss with our friend Ulrich. Man, we just needed one more turn to actually win the campaign, and we couldn't do it. We couldn't push through. Something really unlucky happened, and we lost, and that felt so bad, but so good at the same time, and it was pretty close. I still haven't managed to win the game, which is interesting. People have been saying it's very easy online. Maybe it's a skill issue. But yeah, I really, really liked it, and I really want to dive back.
Or often it tends to be like you missed a little thing that makes the game easier. You also told me you forget the bonus all the time that you're getting.
Also, people have been saying if the game feels easy for you, man, you're missing rules.
And that can also be the thing.
Because me and Ulrich, we miss rules, but it's hard for us both to miss a rule.
Yeah.
Maybe we do everything super strictly.
Yes.
And maybe that's why. And maybe people who are saying it's easy, if you miss even a small thing, it can change.
Of course.
Hugely.
Can help you a lot. Yeah. Even if you do the thing where, one round you forgot to remove the dice to show the round number, which means you would have a whole more round to so cool. Well, my last pick is the same.
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls. It's really cool. I really like it feels a little bit like, I mean, I never played the computer game Elder Scrolls, but it feels a little bit about like the character creation part. And I'm not just talking about in the beginning of the game where you create your character. I'm talking about along as well. I'm getting to shops. Okay, I'm going to buy this. My character's stronger. We're doing one run now where we're just missing the
fire in the third act.
Exactly.
It's also exciting.
And, you know, I build up a way where I have a lot of dice and that's freaking cool. And I'm really looking forward to getting the last act down so I can also have a idea of the whole. Yeah. But I mean, to get here, we already played it like 10 hours or something like that. So yeah, very cool game.
Yeah. Any other month, it will also be my number one. This month specifically, I did something that I've been waiting for 3 years to do. I played Midara, finally finished it. It's definitely by far, undisputably, the number one experience. It was amazing. Me and one of my friends, he came here from Greece, straight from the airport, down to the table. Everything was already set up for him. We started grinding, and we went through full review on Board Game Geek, talked a little bit about it here. We'll definitely do a Patreon episode to deep dive. That's amazing game. Amazing game. It has its flaws. I know. I've been debating online all week about it, but still, it is an amazing game. And it was, I don't want to say number one board gaming experience of all time, because that would be probably an over-exaggeration with the amount of games that I've played, especially with that person. But it was very, very high for me. It was an amazing. We should definitely do the crawl at least once. The crawl is what we do now in Elder Scrolls. 1 level, blah, 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 2 level.
Yeah.
3 level, blah, blah. Maybe we can do that at some point just so you can taste the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, nice.
Number one. Yeah.
And of course, if you're listening to this and haven't done it yet, you should go to BGG and read Nick's review of Midara.
Yeah, should.
So that's cool. It was even in the hotness. A lot of people commented on it. So if you don't read it, you are missing out.
All right. Good month for you. And for me in the beginning. I can't complain. Yeah,
also,
I played Midara.
Yeah, that's
it feels like it was so long ago, you know.
Yeah,
like but it was 2 years.
And it's also because you did it intensively. So but it is like 90 hours of gaming. So that's a lot.
All right, you ready to fly?
Always.
Yeah, and if you don't know what that means, at the end of every episode, we randomly pick 5 games for the other person, and he must rank them without knowing what's coming next. So let me shoot you first, metaphorically, of course.
All right.
And we're going to start very strong.
Okay.
I hope you're ready.
I don't know,
Top
maybe.
10 BGG game.
Okay.
Dune Imperium Uprising.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solid game. I think an improvement of Dune. Not a lot of game would be able to go over it, but there might still be some. And just because I haven't played it that much yet, we'll say number 2. But it was 1 or 2 for sure.
I love the grid. You know I love the grid.
Yeah.
Next, you have a game. I don't know if you remember it. I love it. You've played it once, I think. It's been a long time now. It's a game called Ulm.
Oh, yeah, I remember Ulm.
Nice.
Really wanted to play it again. Kind of sad we haven't yet. Maybe we should do that soon.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, with the track in the bottom where you move along and then you do actions next to where you go.
Exactly.
Number 3.
Ooh. Man, I love it already. Vote him. The next game, I don't know how much you like it. It's called Secret Hitler.
Number 5. Number 5.
I guessed it.
Funny story.
Let's do it.
So everybody probably knows the game Werewolf, and me and my friend, we were at a place where we played Werewolf. He could see the whole thing as he died earlier than me. I could not. In the first round of the game, this guy just went, "How are we playing this game?" We're like, "Yeah, you need to sleep, blah, 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 blah." And then we slept, we woke up, this person is dead. And he just said, "But why?" We said, "Because the werewolves were eating him and stuff." And then all the way until the end, it was just me, this guy, and a girl. And me and this girl were killing each other. We're like, "Man, gotta be you." And we were talking to this guy, "No, you need to help us." And in the end, he was the last werewolf. And he was just playing dumb all the time. And he just has this huge smile in the end where he was like, "Yeah, you know." Just because I acted stupid, he was never on our radar. And me and that girl, we were like finding werewolves like boom, 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 boom. You know, we were both super good. So in the end, we knew it could only, man, he really played us well. And my friend watched this as he died. So when we played Secret Hitler, he was like, "I'm going to try and do the same." And he was that. So he just went, hey, what is happening? And if people like, why you don't, he's a bad guy. We're killing him. And he died in the first round.
Oh.
So it's a cool idea. Don't do it unless you're a good actor.
Yeah, exactly. And it's even harder if people know you.
Exactly.
All right, time to feel happy about your decision about doing Imperium Uprising.
Okay.
Next game is Underwater Cities.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be number one for sure.
Yep, makes sense. And then your final game is also a good game. Man, what a week for you.
What is it?
Yeah, it's Brass Birmingham.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, the number 4 is the last spot. Realistically, Brass and would switch.
Yeah.
But, I mean, those 4, not Secret Hitler, the other 4 games are all very good. So I'm happy. Thank you for the role, Nick.
Do anything. Let's hear it.
All right. Your first game, I will say, in my personal gaming experience, is something I consider like a little classic, although there were games before that. But this is Star Realms.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's a good game. I have maybe 20 expansions of Star Realms.
Yeah.
We used to play it a lot back in the day. And then DC came along. And for all time's sakes, I'll put her number 3.
All right. The next game is a big game that was very cool to try. It needed a higher player count, but it was still cool at 4.
And Sidereal Confluence.
It is Sidereal Confluence.
I like that game. I think I'll put her number 2.
All right.
I think I like that.
And then
Play it again.
a game I will say most people know, which is usually a bad sign,
Yeah, put her on 5 now.
but it's King of Tokyo.
Yeah. I don't want to leave something random for number 5. I want to put her number 5 just so something good doesn't end up being there. And we'll see how I regret that.
And then your next game is Castle Combo.
And I got 1 and 4 left. Man, what will be my number 1? Should we push our luck? Let me look at the previous weeks. What do we have here? We still Terraforming Mars hasn't showed up. All the new games could be showing up. But the possibilities of them, I'm thinking too much. I'll put Castle Combo number 4 and let fate decide my number 1 game.
All right. I really want to try this game at some point.
That means you haven't played it?
I haven't played it,
That cannot be a good sign.
but I think it's good.
Fine.
It is, it's not going to find out, but it's Crafting the Cosmos.
Oh, okay. That was a good game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I understood from you.
Okay.
And I think realistically, without knowing, I can imagine this would actually be your number 1 from these.
Probably. Maybe Sidereal.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah,
I think I like the vibe.
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
can work it out somehow.
Yeah.
It felt pretty good because it had trading in a positive way.
Mm.
Like, I'm not trying to screw you. I'm just trying to make sure I'm alive.
Yeah,
And you have things that you must trade. That's all. That's nice because I generate resources and then I must trade them. That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
That really will push the
Negotiating.
yeah.
Yeah.
And can really make you go in. I know this guy needs to get rid of this. Hey, man, I can give you this at least.
Yeah.
So you're looking for your best option. Yeah.
It felt good. I mean, negotiating is not something we really enjoy in board games as a group, but when it happens like this, I mean,
Yeah.
it was really cool. I'd like to try it again.
Yeah.
All right. Let's recap for me. I had Crafting the Cosmos, Sidereal Confluence, Star Realms, Castle Combo, and King of Tokyo. Decent list.
Mhm.
Then we go to a European Underwater Cities, Dune Imperium, Uprising, Ul, Brass Birmingham, and Secret Hitler. Man, when Brass Birmingham is 4th and it feels right, you know the list was good. Yeah. But that was the episode.
That was definitely the episode. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Essen rapidly approaching.
Ah,
Give us one thing, just a word that you're excited about, and say nothing else, just so, like a hype.
for Essen?
Yeah, just one word. Get people excited slowly.
Oh, man. One word. That's tough.
It can be a sentence. Yeah, it can be whatever you want.
Board games. I'll just say board games. Lots of board games. Yeah. And I will say, I mean, of course, there's still a lot of time, but I think at this time last year, I knew I was going to get more games than what I am right now. But I am looking at a lot of expansions to games I really like. And I almost think that is more hyped than just...
I think last year
That's
also had a lot.
I did have a lot of expansion.
And had
Yeah. That is true.
That should be also approaching.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Very soon.
We need a few more
Yeah.
days, weeks to finalize what we need, and we
Exactly.
Yes.
And we're pretty sure something will come out in August as well.
Definitely.
As a, hey, this is coming to Essen, right? But by now we know a lot already.
Especially the expansions, we are pretty much set. All right. That was awesome. Don't forget, you can always find us on Instagram on board_game_nerds. We also have a Patreon account you can follow. You're going to buy board games anyway. Might as well use our Amazon affiliate link in the description to help improve the podcast. We are trying to move into video territory. It's not as easy as we had hoped, but we are getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, thank you all so much for listening. You're making it real. This was Nick.
This was Ayub.
And you were listening to the Board Game Nerds Podcast. See you next time.